Hi guys, this is Whitney from the Holiday Homestead, just making another video about seedlings, but this one is about how to start your seedlings. So what I'd like to show you is how we make our seedling soil. That's the foundation of, starting seedlings. So we don't buy seedling soil, we make our own, but we also do kind of buy the ingredients a little bit, so I'll show you what I mean. So in previous videos, I know I've shown you guys that I always buy little clearance, discount, or throwaway plants from nurseries or from like Home Depot or Lowe's or anywhere where they sell seedlings. And usually the plants are like dying or dead or really crispy or just whatever happened to them. Anyway, so they are on clearance and they're usually like $1 or 50 cents or, buy one, get one or something. So I always buy them, especially if they're under $1, basically. I always buy them. And so I buy them for 3 reasons. One is the plant, the dead plant, I just throw into my compost. And then the soil that's left inside has all the kind of roots and stuff in it. That's really good for starting my seedling soil. And then the pot itself. I can always reuse a pot. It's always good to have a good pot. So, so I wanted to show you how I turn this into seedling soil. So the first thing I do, and I'll see if I can get the camera to cooperate here. First thing I do is dump out the pot into the pan here. Let's see here. There we go. And I'm just gonna break it up. And you can see at the bottom of the pot, the top of the pot looked all, woody with all these bits of roots in it, but the bottom of it is actually still really good, visible, good potting soil. So what I'm going to do is take my trowel and just chop it up. And you kind of just got to get in there and chop it as best you can. And you can see already, just with just a little bit of chopping, you can see it's breaking apart really well. And so what we've got in here is the soil and also lots and lots of root matter. Usually these plants, when they're this distressed and kind of dying or dead, they usually are root bound. And they are so badly root bound that the roots kind of just take over the entire pot and just becomes like this one big mass. But within that mass is, of course, still good soil. A little bit depleted, but still good soil. And then lots and lots of carbon matter. This is root matter. Now, some plants do reproduce vegetatively, which means that a root cutting will turn into another plant. So you kind of have to be careful about that, because sometimes you'll end up with another plant in your seedling mix. But barring that, what you're left with, I won't bother chopping up all of this, but what you're left with after you kind of break it up is a really nice pan of soft, crumbly medium. Now this stuff is, like I said, is a little depleted, which means the soil doesn't have as many nutrients as it needs, as it should. It's just had a hard time. So we add manure to this, a cold manure to this, to help kind of revitalize the nutrient content of this soil. Because this stuff it has all the good components in it, but it's just kind of tired. All right, so the next part is what I add to it, which is rabbit manure. This is rabbit manure from my rabbits, my meat rabbits, and some of it's kind of fresh and soft. Also, we just had a bit of rain, so it's going to be a little bit soft because it just sits under the hutches outside. And so it's a little bit harder and old and dusty, but all of it is considered a cold manure, which means it will slow release nutrients into the seedling soil. You don't want to use a hot manure with your seedlings. I know some people use, steer manure, dried steer manure in their seedling soil. I wouldn't advise it because it can be extremely nutrient rich for those little seedlings, and it really kind of punches them in the gut with a bunch of nitrogen and all kinds of stuff, which is great, but in really hard and fast quantities can really overwhelm a little seedling and just cause problems for them to develop. So anyway, or they develop way too fast and get super leggy or just all kinds of imbalances. What you want is a nice balanced soil for your seedlings. Okay, so what I do with this is I dump it in my blender. This is an old blender. Don't worry, it's not one I use for food. But it's just an old dirty blender that I've had for years and years. And it's really handy for grinding up rabbit manure, or sometimes I'll even throw some of this rooty, knotty mess in here and chop it up and just kind of help me break it down a little faster. But anyway, so let me get this going. It's going to be a little loud, so I suggest you turn your volume down. Doo-doo-doo. All right, folks, here we go. Oh, maybe not. Oh no, I'm not plugged in. Hold on one second. Okay, should be good. Let's hope. Nope. One more second. Okay, third time's a charm, right? Let's see. Ah, success. Alrighty. So what we have left in here is a little bit of alfalfa and stuff on the top that we don't need. And under it, you can see, is now this kind of crunched up material that is our rabbit poop. And it's all just kind of soft and mixed in there. So we're just going to sprinkle that onto the soil. Never mind. And we just work it in. And some of the poop, rabbit poop balls will actually get crunched up and some kind of stay a little bit more whole. That's fine. Either way, they're going to release their nutrients to the soil when you water it. But already, kind of the texture, you can see the little kind of brownish flecks in there. The texture is already starting to change with the rabbit manure and the soil. So let's do one more round of rabbit manure in this, and then we'll be ready to start planting our seedlings. So this one did a little better job of grinding it up. I don't know if you guys can see that, but in there is just nice. There's a few balls still, but for the most part, down the bottom there, you can just see that's really soft and nice. And that's all vitamins and nutrients. Good stuff. All right, so I'm just gonna mix it in. The same thing. And mix it up the same way. All right. And just for safety, I'm gonna unplug my blender so the baby doesn't get involved in that. And let's go over to our table. Alrighty. So, at the table here, I've got my seedling soil ready to go. I've got containers that we're gonna put some holes in and show you how to do that. I've got my lists and all my good books and stuff, and some pots, some seeds to plant, and also some weeds that we found at a friend's house to replant. So I'll do a part 2 of this video and show you all of that. All right, so see you in a second.